Hey guys, it's Diana. We're doing some big rock painting today. But first we're going to do a little reading from, hold on, Big Magic. Just a little one. I don't want to bore you. But it's something that a few of you, I'm sure a lot of you, I know I have dealt with. Does that sound like a New York accent? Use. Sounds like, right? But I'm not really from New York City. Central New York, we say use. Okay, so in this one part, it's a great book, guys. You should get it. It's from the woman who wrote Eat, Pray, Love, which you've probably seen stickers and stuff all over, Elizabeth Gilbert. But in this one part, I don't know if you or anything like this, like people give away their artwork and their crafts, and you don't want to give them away because you love them and you know how hard you worked on them, especially the ones that worked the hardest on. Sometimes people didn't even like them, but to me it was important. So I wouldn't sell the stuff for the longest time. In fact, people didn't even really know I painted it much except for immediate family. So in this one part, she talks about it ain't your baby. So it says, when people talk about their creative work, they often call it their baby, which is the exact opposite of taking things a little lightly. A friend of mine, a week before her new novel was to be published, told me, I feel like I'm putting my baby on the school bus for the first time. I'm afraid the bullies will make fun of him. Truman Capote, a few people remember him, I do, I'm that old, stated that even more bluntly, finishing a book is just like you took a child out in the backyard and shot it, which is kind of rough, but you're like exposing it to the world, Guys, please don't mistake your creative work for a human child, okay? This kind of thinking will only lead to a deep psychic pain. I'm dead serious with this, because if you honestly believe your work is your baby, then you will have trouble cutting away 30% of it someday. When you go to sell it, you're not going to probably get what you want for it, is what they're saying, which you may very well need to do. You also won't be able to handle it if somebody criticizes or corrects it. Believe me, it cuts deep. Or suggests that you might consider completely modifying your baby, changing it up, or even trying to buy or sell your baby on the open market. You might not be able to release your work or share it all, because how will the poor defenseless baby survive without you hoovering over it and tending to it? Your creative work is not your baby. If anything, you are its baby. Everything I have ever written has brought me into being. Every project has matured me in a different way. This is true. I am who I am told today precisely because of what I have made and what it has made me into. Creativity has hand-raised me and forged me into an adult. Now, it goes on a little bit more about it, but basically what it's saying is that we get so wrapped up in it thinking it's the best or it's not the best, and we work so hard on it, and people will criticize it, and that's just part of it, Nice people won't say much, but really, it is your baby. You worked on it so hard, and I have a few that are my babies. They're going to be inherited, and I'm not going to sell them, and some I know I can sell. I just haven't got the heart to sell them. They kind of have made it over here to my sister's house, but that is a problem, so you've got to learn to let go. If you're thinking about doing it for a living, at some point you're going to have to learn to sell your work, even if it's cheap, just to get it out there. But I remember selling my first couple where I worked in South Carolina. We were leaving to come back here. Me and my husband had decided he wasn't going back in. And I had 8 or 9 paintings that I had did, like, all beach scenes. I think there was even a flamingo in there and a tiger, but they were all ocean beach scenes. And so, Diane, I'll buy them all off you. You'll have extra money. So I says, yeah. To me, it was okay because it was somebody I knew very, very well, and I loved her. She was my mentor as far as hairdressing, and she's the one that got me into painting. So that was good. So that was the first time I actually, and that should have been a sign. I took classes, and they said, if somebody other than your family wants to buy your work, that tells you something. So I'm assuming she still has them. She might not even be here because she was quite old. She's really old now. So, and then later, other people started buying stuff off me, and there was a few times I said no, and I still have some of them. So it really is a hard thing when you really get into it and you get so attached to it because you know how much work they are. And there's other ones that are like, they're so bad, and they're like, oh, I love it. Like, oh, okay, sold. And to me, they weren't hard. But that doesn't mean they're not art. It just means you're better at some things, you can do them a little quicker. So that was it as far as it's a little lecture on not making your work your baby. But there'll be pieces, trust me, that will be your baby. I got a new book coming with some other interesting things, and we'll be doing a reading at least once a month. Hey, Michelle. All right, so we're doing rocks. So I told my sister, I was begging her for rocks over her starting a pond, her rock garden. So I wanted like small rocks. So the rocks are getting bigger and bigger. Here's this one. It came out really good. It's so shiny with the gloss medium. Isn't that beautiful? I'm looking for a new house. Yay! Finally. It'll be a couple weeks before I can look really because the insurance is going to settle finally. It took forever. But she gave me some great big rocks. And we're going to play around with them. So I'm going to put this over here. Let me make sure I got you up on this laptop. But yeah, so I was like, finally. But I think I'm going to. I used to have a pool for years. Years and years and years. My sister has a gigantic pool. And even worth my time. It's like the size of a gigantic apartment. It's the biggest one they make, so I'm not even going to look. But what I want is like a hot tub, something I can use 3/4 of the year. My poor old bones, you know. And it makes you feel better. In the wintertime, I swim in a heated pool over here in the valley, but in the summer they're not open because it's so hot. It's a municipal thing. So I want one. So I'm thinking I'm going to put some of the beach scene stuff for decoration. So anyways, just one of the reasons I picked this particular scene. I do love boats, and I love beach stuff, and I love flamingos. So a lot of my stencils didn't make it. I have a huge pile of stencils. All the stencils, you know, I love their stuff. So let's adjust everything. So here is 2 blues I did. I did a black and a light blue. And I was going to do this whole thing in a ship, but I don't want to do that. So I have this essential stencils. There's 3 of them in here. There's a pineapple. You guys have seen this before if you watch me do some cards. A palm tree, and then this flamingo. So I'm going to do, now it's not going to be perfect, but that's okay. I'm going to have it kind of lean over. Put it down here more. Just the tree, so I can make like an island, not the sunset. And it's going to be a little sketchy because this is real raised. All I did was wipe it off really good with a wet wipe. You know, brush all the dirt stuff. You know, and then I was doing it, and there was 2 pieces. One piece slipped off. This is like a slate, but you could take this and like put it up against like a hot tub or something. And then I have this piece too. I made it the dark blue, and I thought I will just do. I want to be able to put it up, so I was trying to figure out how I could because there'll be plants, guys. Trust me, there'll be plants. I actually just moved a couple plants, and I got a few more I'm gonna go after. My house before that, I had a house before that too. I would just, I didn't have as many plants, but there's one over there that I gotta bring with me, a white peonies. They came for that house, so we got a bunch of my rose bushes over. But they're finally picking up they don't move so well, but you know, we had like 80-degree heat, so I think that's where I'm going to put it, right about there. We had like 89, you don't move bushes like stuff like that in the heat. You need a wet, moderate temperature, but you know, this has been a year from hell as far as the heat goes. Yeah. All right, so I'm actually going to go over this again. I just kind of sketched it in, but what I did was, if you guys see me do this, I have chalk. And I chalked in most of the shape to this. Like I'm gonna, let's see, put this palm tree here. Like you can just put whatever you're gonna do. I might do a little beach right here with your chalk. Or if you go to the dollar store, they got the chalk writers. So make sure you get a white. Stippling brush. I have an old one here. I used this one for years. It's 100 years old. Full of paint though, it's a little stiff, but it works in certain situations. So Now with this, I took, after I got done painting it, because there's a lot of divots in here, I took a paper towel and I pushed some of the paint down in where it wasn't covering. So when I go to do the stencils, we're going to see if that's a problem, because I've never done a stencil on a rock. So this should be interesting. All right. Michelle's on here. You had asked me if I ever went to school for this. Well, you know, the thing with this is I had some art teachers that probably wanted me to go, but I was the oldest of 10 children. I wanted to eat. And I think I've always been kind of artistic. I think you talk to a lot of artistic people, and they just are, you know. But it's still, you can only do certain things. You still got to learn everything. So I'm going to get the small stippler first. Let me do, oh, that's right. I want to fix up my boat first. Ugh. And, you know, that wasn't on my mind. I had other things in my mind, like making a living. I wanted to eat. I mean, you know, I'm the oldest of 10 kids. I wanted money, you know, like any good girl would. And there wasn't many choices. I mean, I could have went to art school, I suppose, but it wasn't in the radar. It wasn't something I thought about. Not until many years later, after I had kids, and I was driving my hairdressing friend on the shop, and I would sit there. I had no clients. I came from New York, and she actually was from that area. Her husband was Navy. She had moved away. I'm just highlighting and stuff, and came back. And anyways, I was writing all over her book. She's dying to get separate in the book. I love your drawings, but so then she got me some pastels. So then she had pastels all over the shop. So then she said, you know what we're going to do? She says, we're going to sign you up for some classes. That's how I got started. And they were all oil back then, mostly. There was some acrylic, but not a lot. So that's how I got started. But then, you know, back then there was no YouTuber. You had to either order books, which I couldn't afford. So what I discovered from one of the other people that was taking classes with, you know, all adult women and men, was that a lot of the art stores and stuff, anywhere there was art involved, there was always somebody doing a free class somewhere. There was one, I remember, like in a boxcar one day, you know. So that still applies. If you have a local art store, well, they're all Michaels now, but they didn't used to be back then. I'm just mixing some colors here to darken this edge up. They would have little signs up there, and we'd get together and we'd go over. One was actually in a train boxcar. You believe that? So there was things that we did that you don't see so much now, but there you can still go. There's a fancy art supply here, which I'm going to take you guys into. You guys got to see this. And they have a bulletin board with all this stuff going on. They said anything I never do it. I can go down there and post stuff. I took flyers down a few times. And they have a catwalk of anybody that has artwork. You're allowed so many inches or whatever. So I never did that either. I just haven't got, just too much, you know, guys, you know, too much going on in my life. So what I want to tell you is that wherever there was a class, and I didn't own anything to clean. I said, how do your house was clean in like an hour? I said I owned a couple of boxes of stuff. When we moved to South Carolina, I owned everything we got married with and a TV. My husband got in his 18th birthday. So what was there to clean? I got furnished apartments, trailers. So I spent most of my time taking care of my kids, painting. No room for a garden. I put my first little garden in that trailer. So what I'm saying is that I devote a lot of my spare time when I could to painting. And she is, when I started that, I already had Jennifer, and Jessica was born in 80. So that's how long I've been painting. I started as oil painting. Anytime there was a class, I took it, you know, and if it was cheap, I took it, because I didn't have a lot of money. So if they did payments, I took it. If it was free, I took it. And if I could get there late, I'd go, you know. And that's how I did it. And then I'll tell you, I love both my sister-in-laws. I don't think one does anything with it. And the other one teaches kids in the art school. I think she's finally coming around doing some stuff for her own art. But she taught kids, so she does kid art, which is, it's art. So just because somebody has a degree and they don't practice, so I thought about going back, but I'd rather be painting. So I'm self-taught. And a lot of your famous artists, I did this whole article I'm still working on. I'm going to do an ebook about self-taught artists. I still got all this stuff in my phone. I haven't finished it since last year. And you'd be surprised how many artists are self-taught artists. It's just still consistency. It's still doing the work. It's still being artistic yourself and looking at things artistically, living an artistic lifestyle, you know, make your eggs fancy or whatever. But it is how you look at things. It's not just sitting down and painting. So does that answer your question, Michelle? So that's a long explanation, but I always feel like I got to over-explain myself on that. But it really has, even people get at art school, if you don't do it, you know, my friend Dave, he went to art school. I forget where he went. And he has a little studio now over here. And he said they taught me how to paint on my own. That's all they did. I never thought about it. He goes, yeah, that's what this is. They taught me a lot, but they taught me to paint on my own. He says, and that's what you're doing. You're painting on your own. He's a good artist. So, weird stuff. Different from mine. I like it. It's just really different. It's it borders on surrealism. So, yeah. So, but he taught all the paint party classes like me, too. He did it for a long time. He was kind of the star over there. Okay, so let me put this back down. And I kind of put some different colors in the boat and made a little darker here. And I guess they call that the aft. And that's like the stern would be the front, right? Is that right, guys? All right, so we can let that dry a little bit. And I'm going to put this palm tree. I kind of want to, I don't know if I want it to lean over the top of it. Do I want it this way? Let's try it right here. The boat can kind of be behind it. And now when you use a stippling brush, that's what they call them, don't wet it. There's techniques you can do, but once you wet that brush, it'll be all over the stencil. It'll be spread out and it won't stay even. You have to use a dry brush. And if you think you're going to be using a lot of really, because you can dry it off your paper towel and use another color, but if it's going to be like a black and then white, you might need 2 or 3 of these. So, but you can use makeup sponges I've used and small sponges, but use the kind that the holes are close together, not like a cellulose. You want something close together, but I have used, which I had a couple more over here. I can't find them. Everything's messed up. So, just to know that if you're going to be using a lot of colors, sometimes it's better to have a few of these. And you can use a regular brush, but you need something that has like a lot of bristles on the end like this. Have the bristles. What else? Yeah, so, or just like mostly, I think a lot of people are using makeup sponges because you can pick them. They're the little wedges, because you can pick them up at the dollar store. All right, so I'm gonna do a little white first, because I'm thinking, and then I'll do green because I think that that's gonna see through because it's dark. So I get the white on here. Got a good amount of white. See it? And then you kind of start offloading it a little bit. You don't want too much paint. So you get too much paint on there, it's going to spread. These are a higher end reusable ones, so you're not going to see that as much. That's a problem with some of them though. And so you're just going to start pouncing. And it's better to use less and add more. Now I'm not going to do too much to the white because I plan on doing some green over the top of this. Just so it's got more of a white base, so I am going back into the paint. If it looks like too much, you do got to eyeball a little bit. Just pounce to the side or offload. I covered up that one I did. It's okay. I'm online. I seen her go out towards you, and it was the last time I seen her. Oh, see, that came out pretty good. So now we'll do some color on it. Maybe just a tad of green. Huh? See, I shouldn't have took it off. It's okay.
Sammy's watching the hallway door.
I'm going to go swimming after this.
Yeah, it's all nice to vacuum.
You got a vacuum?
Yeah.
I'm going to take that green. Actually, I'm going to add a little bit of tan color so it's not quite so vibrant. You say something like 40% of kids that go to college end up not doing what they went to college for. How do you like that? Save myself some money. But I made pretty good money doing hair, though. You know what I mean?
Receipt.
Didn't have taxes on that?
You gotta have the taxes.
Okay, all right. I just gotta see if it matches my stuff. Now I'm gonna take some of this off. Where's that little brush I had? I can don't put it back, just wipe it off good, because if I use it again, I don't want no water on it, okay? So this is green on the top. That's pretty good. I'm gonna rinse this brush out. I think I'll just make this a little tanner. I can just go into, I get this color called, it's Deco Art. It's called Desert Sand. I'm just gonna go over this a little bit. Now I thought I'd make a little water. I wonder if I should put a little sun there. We're creating here. We can do what we want. Maybe I'll put that sand color down here. That's what I'll do. I'll just kind of interrupt it. This is going to go next to my jacuzzi, okay? You think I'm kidding. I really want one. Well, not a hot tub. Jacuzzi, actually, something interesting. There was a question and something I've been reading all up about them because I want one, how to put it up and what I need. And jacuzzi is actually the name of a family. It's not like a thing. So it's like, because somebody has the difference between a hot tub, I forget, well, a jacuzzi and something else. Well, it turns out jacuzzi is just the name of a family that came up with it. Isn't that interesting? Cool, right? So now I'm going to put some teal blue, I think, right here. Right here, so it's like, you know, and then put some white over it too. So I'm looking like for a hot tub. It's the same thing. It's all the same stuff. But there's a lot of different ones. I'm just going to get like a portable kind of one. I want a good size one. I want one they have things you can sit on because I don't do the ground. And I don't want to spend $10,000 on a jacuzzi. But I want something for these old bones. I want something I can use like 3 or 4 months out of the year, you know? So I'm going to make some of this green too. A little bit. Bring it all the way over. And then I can put some weight on that so we get some, I'm going to, you know, I kind of can, I could stipple with that too, huh? I'll just use the white. And I'm going to kind of do this messy so it looks like a shoreline is splashing on there. So when I make this shiny, it's gonna really pop. You guys, when you put a sealer on this, now you can get a matte finish. I have a gloss finish, Liquitex gloss medium. I use this a lot in my multimedia when I'm putting on paper and stuff. But you can use Mod Podge. That's a little bit better than Mod Podge. Mod Podge does make something called triple thick, which we use on our ceramic work. But I don't use it because the odor gets to me. I have to wear a mask. So if you want to, you can also use any kind of sealer like that. If you think it's going to be outside like for a long time, maybe you've got a pond or something, I would definitely think about using some kind of polycoat or some type. Mini Wax makes one. There's a whole bunch of different companies that have them. So when I put that gloss on here, that's really going to make this all pop. And I think I might do a little sun right here. Let me get a yellow out. Just I feel like there should be something I could like do. Maybe I'll do like, you know, I'll do stars or something like a star. Let me get a smaller brush. You know, I do the little dots with my brushes. But if you get a smaller brush, you get a smaller dot. So instead of doing the sun, I'm going to do some. My boy, my dog loves my sister. He's like, pay attention to me now. I'm your baby. So there you go. We got ourselves a little beach scene. Fun stuff. throw a smaller one. She cleaned the pool out, so I didn't get in yesterday. I had got caught in a storm. You know, I'm 65, people. There's a hill that comes up to the house, not big. Oh my God, it was bad. So they're gathering all this stuff up. My daughter came out and helped me with my stuff. I'm trying to get up the hill. Thought I was going to have a stroke. And yesterday, I was little crampy pains all over my poor old body. And the day before that, you know, I got in the pool. So yesterday, I was not in good shape. So I had ibuprofen yesterday. I felt much better. But I'm not supposed to take that, but it worked. So anyways, I think this is a done deal. You could put some coconuts in there if you want to. You could add anything you want. Let me see. But I will hope this is dry by the time I'm done with this class. I'll put some shine on it for you. But usually I will wait 24 hours, 12 hours. And then I will put, the sealer on. But hopefully this will be pretty dry by the end of class because I'm going to do the other one now. Give it a place to dry. Have you guys ever painted journals? I had an old journal. I didn't use all the paper up, so I ripped off what I didn't use. And I painted it because it was looking pretty rough. It's like a fun thing to do. I had old books at the house. Well, I think my granddaughter hoards old books. And I was painting in it. Well, it's all stored. So I'm looking for some old encyclopedias or some dictionaries. They are great for watercolors because it's this really antique look. It's also great for, but if you got old ones and you don't want to throw them away and you want to display them on a shelf, it's just acrylic paint. You can even do a stencil if you want to. Just a thought, I'm going to probably do a couple for you. I can hit a garage sale or something. Wait, let me put this away to dry. Just things you can paint on, make your house pretty. And not spend a lot of money. If you're like me, you got a lot of paint. All right, so here's that other rock. I put this down. I had some other things as a paint for you. I got some wood cutouts here. I had some more stencils and, cutouts. Because I promote the stencils because, I get a little, it's not much, it's just coffee money. But, every little bit counts. So, okay, we'll put that away. And oh, I get some color on here. That's okay. I had it like this. So I'm going to be able to put the rock up. Probably should have done it this way. No, I'll do it this way. I want to be able to put the rock, stand the rock up. I can stand it up like that. So I'm going to lean it against something. So same thing. I think I'm going to do white in the back first. Them are eating tomatoes. I had my first tomato sandwich of the season, guys. It's full. I ate almost the whole tomato. Dad, I don't put them in the refrigerator anyways. Put them in the box in the back hallway or something. That's what I do with them. But I eat them as fast as I get them. I also can them. They don't can over here. They don't freeze either. I could freeze some to cook with. It's not hard. Anyways, where's the smoke? So I'm going to do that again with the white. Here it is. And if you want to leave them out, I'll put them away. I know what to do. I'll cook a few up. It takes a second. I don't like putting them in the refrigerator because you guys know it takes all the flavor out. When you're in the stores, they don't put tomatoes in the refrigerator. All right. That's why they cook them. Oh, so good right out of the garden. But these aren't out of the garden. I went down to the farmer's market here. And you can tell it was a farm, and I said homegrown. And you can see all the farm signs are from somewhere. I don't know. We have one of the biggest farmers market. We have one of the biggest farmers market in the state. And they come from every county, 13 counties, 15, I don't know, all over. And this, this time of the year, it's just unbelievable. And you can tell the tomatoes just taste good. The cucumbers taste good. It ain't that winter shit. I just barely can tolerate tomatoes in the winter. I only buy certain kinds because the other ones to me have no flavor. Look at that. You can leave that white if you want to do a black and white theme. But I need some color in there, so I'm going to give it a second to dry. And I'm going to wipe this off. Let me see if this is... I'm going to kind of wave on this to see if I can get it to dry. Oh, not with this thing. Jeez. Any of you guys out there love tomatoes? Let me know if you love tomatoes. Who loves tomatoes? Tomato sandwiches, I should say. Who loves tomato sandwiches? Let's see what's out here. There's many on yet. I love them. I think everybody's out today. There's a lot of people at that market. I'm just giving these away, letting them dry. So did you catch that I did the reading earlier about making your work your baby? It's not a good thing. I wish I had somebody to tell me all this stuff years ago, because there wasn't much out. I mean, there was some stuff, but of course, I didn't have any money. I mean, I had like minus 50. That's what I had. So if there was something I wanted, I just wanted it. I remember I love this one artist, which you can look her up. Her name is Helen Van Wyck. Van, V-A-N, capital V, capital W-Y-K. She's dead. That's what you see. I do a lot of still life, like the pots and all that, and the glass things. That's from her. But I was in a secondhand store one day, and someone had donated the entire set of her books and tapes. I lost my mind. I went through all those books until I found the whole set. And I didn't pay much, but the books themselves were like, back then were $29 a piece. Same thing with the Bob Ross. I watched him on TV, but I couldn't afford none of the stuff. And then years and years later, my daughter worked for the newspaper, and they had a tell-off, and she bought me the whole set. And she was a lot older than, probably in her early teens, early 20s. So, everything was, like I said, self-taught. And now, if you read up on it, they're saying sometimes that's a good thing, that when you get in with other artists, you pick up other ideas, you start forgetting about your own. So you need to sit down and do your own art. And they talk about when you're doing art, you should separate it, like from this stuff here, you should separate and do your own art. I mean, you emulate, when you first start out, you copy a lot of artists, but at some point, and it's going to be ugly, and it's going to be bad, but you should do that. And start out with, I believe you should use quality products, but when you first start out, use stuff that's reasonably priced, that does the job. And then once you get, so you know what you're doing, and you're learning, if you don't want to waste paint, if you don't care, it is not a problem for you, then you use what you want. Like if you like using watercolors and you want to use Daniel Smith, which I love, and I love my Arteza, and I love Winsor & Newton, which I've been using 100 years. I use the oils. That's okay. But if you're worried about that, you can always start out with some other stuff. But yeah, so you should use the good stuff. But to start out, you don't have to. But you do need to do your own thing too. So that's how you discover what you can do. All right, so let's put a little pink in here. He's a little bit dry, right? Let's put some pink in here. Let's turn this around. So now everything we're talking about today is stuff that I teach in my classes, in my, in my paid membership. And you guys get ready to join. I'm sure a few of you will. It's a little bit more advanced. Well, I'm assuming most people don't know some of this stuff. But I can point you in the right direction. That's what I do. Basically, I'm teaching a lot of what I've learned. All artists have their own styles. And a lot of them are using techniques from other artists, though, too. So, this one artist was talking about, especially this stuff, it's really hard to... They're all complaining that somebody's copying their work. Well, a lot of stuff is copied now, especially this stuff. So everybody's doing some kind of flamingo in their own way, and you're copying from other people, and I do, a little bit. I make it my own, unless I use Heidi's stuff from the one group I'm in. But yeah, so you got to make it distinctive if you're going to do a little more selling your artwork kind of thing. So I'm just going to add some pink here. Just saying. You need to do your own thing too. You don't want anybody to see it, don't show nobody. That's what I did. Then we get a little orangey pink here. Let me get a little yellowy or orangey. Let's see what I got. Let's get a little yellow on the subject. Yeah, so that tomato sandwich was out of this world. I don't know if they like tomato sandwiches, but I do. BLT, man, BLT season 2. I walked right by my basil. I didn't put any basil in. I always put basil in. Well, not always, sometimes. This is antique pink. And I'm just going to kind of start pinking this in a little bit. It's a little tiny brush. This is Deco Art brush, and this is a 0. You can buy these brushes at Michael's. And I'm going to kind of give this some swoops and stuff and make it look cute. I knew they were going to stick them in the refrigerator, so I got 3 over here hidden in the window, guys. I don't like my tomatoes in the window. I knew. We're all like that in our family. They'll say, and then we do what we want to do. But we love each other. Been so good to me. I barely even knew I'd been there for almost 4 months. I was like, it hasn't been that long yet. Diana has, but it hasn't really felt like it. Isn't that something? That's a good thing, guys. It's a good thing. So we're kind of getting something going on here. A little pink here. And the legs are kind of yellow, so that's kind of a bright yellow. So I'm going to mix in that sandy color with the yellow just to kind of tone it down a tad. I'm just gonna, I don't have to do anything really. There you go. And maybe give him a little eye. Maybe I could use that purple. I'll roll it in the purple, see if I can do just a tiny eye. There you go. Now you could do a little beach behind that. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to, but you can. A little white, a little blue. So it doesn't show up without the white. So that's interesting, right? So I guess you can stencil on rocks, and the only way I would have known that is if I did it. I was trying to find a flat. These are actually kind of good for it because they're slate. They're kind of flattish. So, well, I think that's gonna look cute in my next to my jacuzzi. All right, so that's done. Now you could. Oh, I forgot, guys. I did Amazon Prime, and I was gonna unbox with you, but I was so excited I forgot to unbox it. Sometimes I unbox it, my people, show what I got. I don't know where the other one went. But these are an off-brand of the Pasco pens. These are like $5.63. And, they're not real fancy, but they're okay. Where's the color I took out already? The red one. Okay, mix it up, same thing. Pound on it. And the Pasco pens are good for painting on rock, wood, and glass. These are great glass painters too, which I have used a little bit. So, anyways, guys, this one is Overseas, it's called. And then I got, this was selling around the same price. I want to say these were $8. Dual tip brush markers, and this is a Amazon product. I should sell for them. Now, if these end up being good, I'm going to end up putting these on my, you can go to I have Art by Diana Myers list on Amazon if you guys ever want to know some of the stuff I use. And here is one of them. It's it literally is like a brush. Now I don't know if you can use this on here. Let's see. No, these are more like a watercolor thing. Let me find something. So I'm going to use these for watercolors. See, oh yeah, water-based. Yeah, so these are for your watercolors. Dual tip. Yeah, it's water-based. You use this in the watercolors. Well, man, I found so much stuff I didn't get that much. I had a big list. It was like $300. I spent like $60, but actually there was some things in there I needed, so. But yeah. So that must done. Let me see if this is dry. I can put a little bit of a sealer on it for you. Yeah, so I just painted, didn't really say anything. I just learn it on my own, and one of the first times I had taken a class when I came back up here, because I had been painting a while, and got off and on, because, you know, I had kids to raise and things to do. I couldn't be, you know, sitting behind that paint. I had to work. So I started picking up some courses again, and I'm painting with this. I didn't know it at first. He was a, what do you call it? A professor, retired now, taught at SU. And he wanted to get together with me and get in a little group and stuff. I'm like, well, I didn't have the time. I said, I would love to. Well, me and a couple other people, I never got back. I just put on my finger, guys. You can do a sponge. I never got back to him. I was just busy. I said, I'll try, you know. So that was the first time anybody that was like officially an artist from a college, and it pointed out to something. Of course, it just puffed me up, and I don't need no help, but did I realize that, hey, I'm doing all right. But, you know, I wasn't looking for that. I enjoyed the painting, so. And now for me, it really has been a lifesaver, you know, between, you guys know I've had a hell of a year. Between the house, my husband, I lost friends, closed the shop, closed the business, closed 2 businesses, helped my friend with his art business, closed his business. Then my husband got cancer. And guess what I did the whole time? I did this. This is what I did. I decided to open this business, so I started taking classes and buffing up on my painting skills again, and yeah. So this, I think I just put a thing on there about depression. And guess what's on the list, guys? Guess what is on the list? Anything artistic. Anything. So, now I would normally smooth this right over the top. I'm afraid I'm going to ruin it. Can you see how shiny that is? It's going to make everything pop. Now, I would normally use a little sponge. I just do it just like this. I take my little sponge or a little brush, and whatever you're going to use is going to get messed up. A sponge, you can actually rinse it out and probably use it. I have a few times. It just makes everything kind of pop. And you can still, if you decide you don't like something, you can paint back over this sealer and then seal that one section, because I have done it. I say, I don't like that, let's put something else in. So, see, I smush that by accident. So, you can see it's nice and shiny. I need to do more of it, but you see it nice and shiny. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. And you could put sparkles on here too. I just thought of that. You can put, there's like, I got sparkle paint from them too. I had got, I get 50% off because I'm in that group of all the deco art paints. And they have this one called Extreme Sheen, and it's got sparkles in it. There's another one. This isn't the right one. But it's got like, it's shiny and it's sparkly. It's a lot of fun. But it gives you a little shine too. Let's see if I can get it to work on here. Not that great. But there's one that has sparkles in it. I gotta look for it. I haven't used it yet. But it was, they had they might still have them, I don't know. They have sets you can buy if you go to the Deco Art site online. They have, my set was on Sagittarius. there's all these really cool purples and sparkles. So every sign had a different, I like purple. So anyways, guys, that's it for today. I hope you learned a few things. And I will see you Tuesday. And I haven't set up any agenda, but I think we're going to be playing with no more rocks, I think. But I think we're going to be playing with the watercolors. And possibly at some point, we're going to talk about the EPRe. But the EPRe is more for my advanced, or not advanced, my membership group, because there are a lot of newbies in there. And that's a little more complicated. You can't really teach it, but I'll go over some of it in this group. But that really, you gotta have the great big bag of stuff, which it's only $13. And I'm just gonna show them a bunch of techniques that I know. But you can go on YouTube and look him up, GAFFERY. He paints on huge pieces of board. I'm just gonna do a small piece of board and do a small piece. I think I know what I'm gonna do. So, but we can go over some of that one night. And I had done the original EPRe that I did with you guys. I did like over 2 years ago, and I still have those pieces in storage. But I'm going to go over and show you guys how you use that paint. It's basically a palette knife thing. And he started using frosting bags recently. But it's palette knives, like big palette knives on big paper. But I do them smaller because I got that kind of money. He makes the paint right in his studio. Great big like washing machine dub things he makes this. It's really cool. So we can go over that some other time. But I think we're going to do watercolors next week. So I will see you, and then we'll probably do another reading in a couple of weeks. I wanted to do them once a month, every couple of weeks, and too much going on over here. It took 3 months to settle on this house. It was just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And, you know, and then my health. I still got some things I got to have done. I go in there, going to do a thing, and get that surgery. So I'll probably be out of commission at some point, a week or two, so I'll let you guys know if I have to have... I don't think it's going to be any big deal from what I understand, but you got to do it. So it's girl stuff, guys. It's girl stuff. So anyways, you guys have a nice weekend, and I will see you on Tuesday, 2:30, Paint and Create with Diana, and I'll see you Wednesday, Paint and Create with Diana at 7, and same thing next Saturday at 1 o'clock, chat and create. So have a great afternoon. I hope inspiration finds you wherever you go. Thanks, guys.